We've all had that moment when we walk into a room and forget why we went there, or when someone tells us their name and seconds later, it slips away like sand through our fingers. These little lapses in memory are frustrating, but when they start happening more often, especially during stressful times, they can feel scary. The truth is, stress doesn't just weigh on your mood or your sleep. It goes deeper. Stress is actually one of the biggest silent destroyers of memory. Think about it. Have you ever been preparing for something important, like an exam, a work presentation, or even just a family dinner, and despite practicing or planning, your mind suddenly goes blank? That's stress at work. Your body is wired to respond to stress with a burst of adrenaline and cortisol, hormones that were designed to keep our ancestors alive in life or death situations. Back then, stress was about running from predators or surviving harsh environments. Today, it's about traffic jams, deadlines, bills, and constant notifications from our phones. The problem is, while the world has changed, our biology hasn't. Our brains still react to stress the same way, and when that stress is constant, it chips away at our ability to think clearly and remember things. Scientifically, here's what's happening. When stress hormones like cortisol stay elevated for too long, they directly affect the hippocampus, the part of your brain that stores and retrieves memories. The hippocampus is like your personal memory library, carefully filing away moments, names, facts, and experiences so you can recall them later. But under chronic stress, that library starts to fall apart. Cortisol weakens the connections between brain cells, making it harder for you to form new memories or recall old ones. In severe cases, it can even shrink the hippocampus. That's why chronic stress doesn't just make you feel overwhelmed, it makes you forgetful. To make this relatable, imagine you're carrying a bucket full of water. The bucket represents your memory, and the water is the information you've learned and experienced. Stress is like punching little holes into that bucket. No matter how much water you pour in, it keeps leaking out. You may still function, but you're constantly losing bits of information, little moments, and important details. That's why when you're stressed, you might forget an appointment, misplace your keys, or zone out during conversations. This isn't just an inconvenience, it can be life-altering, especially as we get older. Seniors often notice memory slipping and worry about conditions like dementia or Alzheimer's. While those diseases are serious and separate, stress adds fuel to the fire. The more stress you carry, the more you risk speeding up memory decline. But here's the hopeful news. Stress-related memory loss is not permanent. Unlike certain conditions that cause irreversible brain damage, the effects of stress can often be reversed. When you calm your body and mind, your memory can rebound. Your hippocampus can recover, your brain cells can reconnect, and your ability to remember can sharpen again. Let's pause for a moment and make this personal. Think about a time when you were overwhelmed, maybe juggling too many tasks at once, or dealing with family pressures, or even trying to manage bills while exhausted. During those times, did you notice how foggy your mind felt? How even simple tasks seem harder? Maybe you forgot to pay a bill, missed a phone call, or left the stove on. That wasn't you being careless. That was stress hijacking your brain. The same thing happens to millions of people every single day. Now imagine the opposite. Picture a morning when you woke up after a good night's sleep, had a calm start to the day, and maybe even took a short walk outside. On that day, you probably noticed your mind felt clearer. You remembered things more easily. You could focus on conversations without drifting. That's the power of a brain free from stress overload. And the best part? That clarity is not out of reach. It's something you can cultivate and protect with the right habits. That's why this conversation is so important. Stress is not just a feeling, it's a real biological force that reshapes your brain. But it's also something you can fight back against. By learning how stress steals your memory, you can take control before it does more damage. And by the time we are done, you'll see that your memory is not gone. It's just waiting for relief from the storm of stress. So, if you've been worried about your memory slipping away, don't panic. You're not broken, and you're not alone. What you're experiencing is something your brain is designed to do under pressure. And the good news is, just as stress can damage memory, calm can heal it. In the next part, we'll dive into practical, science-backed solutions you can use today to protect your memory and bring back that mental clarity you've been missing. Now that we've uncovered how stress quietly erodes memory, the natural question is, what can you do about it? If stress hormones like cortisol are the culprits, then the first line of defense is learning how to calm the stress response itself. This doesn't mean eliminating every stressful situation in your life, because let's be honest, that's impossible. Bills will still arrive, responsibilities won't disappear, and challenges will keep coming. What it does mean is training your brain and body to react differently. When you lower your stress response, you lower cortisol. And when cortisol goes down, your memory begins to recover. One of the most powerful yet overlooked tools for this is something you're already doing right now: breathing. Breathing is not just about oxygen. It's one of the fastest ways to talk directly to your nervous system. When you're stressed, your breathing becomes shallow and quick, which signals danger to your brain. But when you take slow, deep breaths, you send the opposite message: I'm safe. I can relax. This activates your parasympathetic nervous system, the body's natural relaxation response, which lowers cortisol, slows your heart rate, and clears mental fog. A simple practice is the 4-7-8 method. Inhale through your nose for 4 seconds, hold for 7, then exhale slowly through your mouth for 8. Repeat this a few times, and within minutes you'll feel your body relax. Studies show that even a few minutes of controlled breathing can dramatically reduce cortisol levels and improve cognitive performance. It's like pressing the reset button on your brain. Another powerful tool is mindfulness. Now, mindfulness might sound complicated or reserved for monks meditating on mountaintops, but at its core, it's simply the practice of paying attention to the present moment without judgment. When you're stressed, your mind races, rehashing the past or worrying about the future. This mental chatter overloads your brain and makes it harder to remember things. Mindfulness slows everything down. By focusing on the now, your breath, the sensation of your feet on the ground, the sound of birds outside, you give your brain a break from the storm of thoughts. And in that pause, your memory finds space to breathe. If you're new to mindfulness, start small. Take 5 minutes in the morning to sit quietly and notice your breath. Or while eating, put your phone aside and focus on each bite, the taste, the texture, the smell. These little practices train your brain to settle down. Over time, this reduces overall stress, strengthens your hippocampus, and sharpens your memory. Let me share a relatable example. A woman named Sarah worked in a fast-paced office and often forgot small but important details, like deadlines or where she put documents. She thought she was developing early memory problems. But after joining a simple mindfulness class, where she practiced breathing and being present for just 10 minutes a day, she noticed a shift. She became calmer at work, and her memory improved. She wasn't losing her mind, she was losing her calm. Once she reclaimed it, her brain function bounced back. Beyond breathing and mindfulness, calming routines are another powerful antidote to stress. Your brain loves predictability. When you create a calming ritual, like stretching before bed, sipping tea while journaling, or taking a short evening walk, you signal safety and stability to your nervous system. This steadiness lowers stress hormones and protects memory. Seniors, in particular, benefit from this because routines anchor the mind and reduce confusion. Even something as simple as listening to calming music can help. Research shows that soothing music lowers cortisol, reduces anxiety, and even improves memory recall. So next time you're overwhelmed, put on some gentle music and let your brain reset. Here's the encouraging part. These strategies don't take hours, they don't cost money, and they don't require dramatic lifestyle changes. You don't need to move to the mountains or meditate for an hour. You just need small, consistent moments of calm. 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there, can add up to big changes in how your brain handles stress. Think of it like cleaning a foggy window. Stress clouds your memory like condensation on glass. But every time you pause to breathe, practice mindfulness, or follow a calming routine, you wipe a little of that fog away. Over time, the glass becomes clear again, and so does your memory. So, if stress is stealing your ability to remember, start with calming the stress response. Breathe deeply. Be present. Create routines that anchor you. These are not luxuries, they are necessities for protecting your brain. Once you build these habits, you'll notice fewer memory lapses, sharper focus, and a calmer outlook on life. And this is just the beginning. Breathing, mindfulness, and routines calm the mind, but your brain also needs physical strength to fight off stress. That's where movement and activity come in. In the next block, we'll explore how exercise doesn't just keep your body strong, it also rebuilds your memory. We've learned that calming your stress response with breathing, mindfulness, and routines is the first step in protecting your memory. But there's another equally powerful tool that often gets overlooked: movement. Exercise isn't just about keeping your body fit, it's about keeping your brain sharp. In fact, physical activity is one of the most effective ways to protect your memory from the damaging effects of stress. Here's why. When you move your body, your heart pumps more blood, delivering oxygen and nutrients to every part of your brain. This includes the hippocampus, that memory library we talked about earlier. Regular exercise not only protects the hippocampus from stress but can actually help it grow. That's right, movement can literally rebuild the parts of your brain that stress tries to tear down. Exercise also lowers cortisol, the stress hormone that interferes with memory. Think of it as releasing the pressure valve. When you're active, your body burns off excess stress hormones, calming your system naturally. On top of that, exercise increases the production of endorphins, your body's feel-good chemicals, that boost mood, improve sleep, and sharpen focus. It's like giving your brain a refreshing shower that washes away stress and leaves it clear and alert. And here's the good news. You don't need to run marathons or lift heavy weights to see these benefits. Even gentle forms of movement can make a huge difference. A 20-minute walk, a bit of gardening, dancing in your living room, or stretching before bed, all of these count as exercise for your brain. What matters is consistency, not intensity. To make this more relatable, picture a man named David. In his 60s, David began noticing that stress from work and family responsibilities was taking a toll on his memory. He often misplaced items, forgot appointments, and felt mentally drained. Instead of giving in to frustration, he started walking every morning in his neighborhood. Just 30 minutes of brisk walking, 5 days a week. Within weeks, he noticed not only that his stress levels were lower, but his memory was sharper. He remembered conversations better, could focus longer, and even felt more positive. What changed? His brain was getting the oxygen, blood flow, and hormonal balance it needed, all from something as simple as walking. Science backs this up. Studies show that older adults who engage in regular physical activity have larger hippocampal volumes and perform better on memory tests compared to those who are sedentary. That means exercise doesn't just slow down memory decline, it can actually reverse some of the damage caused by stress. The beauty of movement is that it fits every lifestyle. For younger adults, it might be a workout at the gym. For seniors, it might be Tai Chi, yoga, or even light chair exercises. Each form of movement signals to the brain, I am active, I am alive, I am resilient. And your brain responds by protecting and enhancing memory. It's also important to mention that exercise helps sleep. When you move during the day, your body rests better at night. Sleep is when your brain organizes memories, files them into long-term storage, and clears out the clutter. Without enough sleep, stress builds, and memory suffers. Exercise creates the foundation for deep, restorative sleep, which in turn makes your brain stronger. Let's not forget the mental clarity that comes with exercise. How many times have you gone for a walk and returned with a new idea or solution to a problem? That's because movement shifts your brain into a more creative, diffuse mode, allowing new connections to form. Stress narrows your thinking, but exercise opens it back up. So, if stress is destroying your memory, don't underestimate the power of movement. You don't need fancy equipment or hours of time. Start where you are. Walk around your block, stretch for 10 minutes, or put on music and move. Over time, you'll notice not only less stress, but sharper memory, clearer thinking, and more energy. And this is just the second piece of the puzzle. Calming the mind lowers stress. Moving the body rebuilds memory. But there's still one more crucial factor: what you feed your brain. In the next block, we'll look at how the right nutrition can protect your brain from stress, fuel memory, and give you the clarity you've been missing. We've explored how calming your stress response restores balance, and how movement rebuilds memory. But there's one more pillar that ties it all together: nutrition. What you put into your body directly shapes how your brain handles stress and how well it remembers. If stress is destroying your memory, the right foods can act like armor, shielding your brain from damage and fueling it with the clarity it needs. Let's start with the basics. Your brain is an energy-hungry organ. It makes up only about 2% of your body weight but consumes around 20% of your daily energy. That means every bite you eat has the potential to either sharpen or cloud your memory. When stress levels rise, your body uses up even more nutrients, vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants. If your diet is poor, your brain is left defenseless. But when you nourish it properly, you give it the tools to fight back against stress and preserve memory. One of the most important nutrients for memory is omega-3 fatty acids, found in fish like salmon, walnuts, and flax seeds. Omega-3s strengthen the membranes around brain cells and improve communication between neurons. They also have anti-inflammatory effects, which is critical because stress triggers inflammation that can damage brain tissue. A diet rich in omega-3s has been linked to better memory, sharper focus, and even protection against age-related decline. Antioxidants are another powerful ally. Found in berries, dark leafy greens, and nuts, antioxidants neutralize free radicals, tiny unstable molecules that stress unleashes in the body. These free radicals attack cells, including brain cells, accelerating aging and impairing memory. But antioxidants act like shields, protecting your hippocampus and keeping your memory intact. That's why diets high in fruits and vegetables are consistently associated with better brain health. Then there's B vitamins, especially B6, B12, and folate. These are essential for producing neurotransmitters, the brain's chemical messengers. Under stress, your body burns through B vitamins quickly, leading to mental fatigue and memory problems. Eating foods like eggs, legumes, and leafy greens can replenish these vital nutrients and keep your brain chemistry balanced. And we can't forget hydration. Even mild dehydration can impair memory and focus. Stress often makes people forget to drink water, but your brain needs it to function smoothly. Think of water as the oil that keeps the machine running without friction. Without enough, the gears grind, and your memory slips. But just as certain foods protect memory, others quietly sabotage it. High sugar diets, for example, spike your blood sugar and flood your body with insulin, which over time damages blood vessels in the brain and disrupts memory. Processed foods full of trans fats and additives also increase inflammation, making it harder for your brain to stay sharp. If stress is already attacking your memory, these foods add fuel to the fire. Now imagine a plate filled with grilled salmon, a side of spinach, and a handful of blueberries. That meal is not just dinner, it's brain medicine. It delivers omega-3s, antioxidants, and B vitamins all in one, fortifying your memory against stress. Pair that with a glass of water and a calming tea, and you've built a shield around your hippocampus. Let me share a simple story. Maria, a grandmother in her 70s, used to joke that stress had eaten her memory. She constantly misplaced items and forgot details from conversations. When her doctor recommended dietary changes, she started small, adding more vegetables, swapping cookies for berries, and drinking more water. Within a few months, her forgetfulness eased. She still had stressful days, but she noticed her memory was sharper, her mood lighter, and her energy more consistent. What changed? She wasn't just eating, she was fueling her brain. This brings us to a bigger truth. Memory protection is not about one magic pill or quick fix. It's about building habits that support your brain from every angle. First, calm your mind with breathing, mindfulness, and routines. Second, move your body to boost blood flow and burn off stress. Third, feed your brain with nutrients that fight stress and fuel memory. Together, these 3 steps create a cycle of healing and resilience. The best part is, it's never too late to start. Whether you're 30 or 70, your brain is adaptable. It can grow, repair, and rebound if you give it the chance. Stress may be powerful, but it's not invincible. By taking action today, choosing calm, choosing movement, choosing nourishing foods, you take back control. You show stress that it cannot steal your memory without a fight. So here's the message I want you to remember. Your memory is not doomed. Stress may have been weakening it, but you have the tools to rebuild it. Every deep breath, every step you take, every healthy meal is like adding bricks to a fortress that protects your mind. And the more you practice, the stronger that fortress becomes. Stress doesn't get the final word. You do. And with calm, movement, and nutrition, you can fix your memory, starting today.